Welcome to episode 3 of West Texas Droning. In this episode, we're going to continue our discussion on pre-flight procedures that should be conducted prior to at least the first flight of the day on your drone. Last time we were here, we discussed the Section A of FAA Regulation Part 107-49, which listed the pre-flight requirements prior to a flight, and it mostly concerned itself with weather and airspace. So this time we're going to continue our discussion with parts of the pre-flight that address the physical condition of the drone itself. Now, FAA has published an advisory circular. It's called AC 107-2, Section 7.3.4, which sounds just like our government, doesn't it? And that circular outlines guidance for suggested steps in developing a checklist for pre-flighting a drone. Now, you should know that if your drone manufacturer did not supply you with a pre-flight checklist according to federal rules, you must develop your own checklist. And you are also responsible for developing a routine maintenance schedule for your drone. So as you get into this, you see that your drone is not really as much as a toy as you thought it would be. Now, I have a suggested pre-flight checklist for my drone, and it covers some of the bases. It's not as extensive as I like it. If you have a drone from your manufacturer, there's nothing wrong with including suggestions from the FAA circular to include in your pre-flight. Now, you can look around on the internet and you can find other people's pre-flight checklists and post-flight checklists that they use and download them and use them yourself. Some commercial operations have a lot of drones and a lot of pilots, and the pilot checks out this document, maybe like this one, fills it out, does his pre-flight, his post-flight, and turns that in at the end of the day after his flight schedule is done for the day. So that's something else you can do, is go ahead and look for other pre-flight checklists for drones that you might incorporate in your usage. It's normal for an aircraft pilot to conduct a walk-around inspection of their aircraft. I used to do it all the time. And you can do something similar, although you don't actually walk around it, but something else, you can look at all the different components of your drone and make sure they're all in good condition and ready for the day's operation. So, after you do the pre-flight and you've got your weather checked and everything and your airspace checked, well, then it's time to go fly. I see you cows over there standing very coyly behind me, like I don't know that they're, but I do. So I like to start out on top of a hill. It's just a great place to start a drone flight. And keeping in mind that as you fly away from the hill, you have to make sure you maintain your 400 feet above ground level maximum that the FAA dictates. One of the good things about West Texas is it's a semi-arid place. We don't have lots and lots of low clouds and lots of fog. The only aspects to our climate that are a little bit concerning is in the summertime when you have temperatures of 100 to 110 degrees. Those kind of degrade your drone's performance, and you have to remember that it won't go as fast, it won't be as responsive as it is in denser, cooler air. Drones really seem to work best that I've experienced around 50, 60, 70 degrees. They work really well. If you get real cold, as you know, your drone batteries don't hold up very well, and their life is much briefer between charges as when the drones are operate at a reasonable temperature. As you see here, we're operating this drone under the visual line of sight rules prescribed or regulated in the regulation of the FAA, which means you have to be able to determine your drone's altitude, direction of flight, attitude, and distance from other objects that may be conflict with it, other air traffic, structures, terrain. You have to be able to visually keep your drone clear of all of that. You can look at your controller from time to time to check on the camera angle and all that, but they expect you to be able to go right back out with your eyes and see your drone and see what kind of shape it's in and what it's doing. You see this cow's inching closer to me. They don't think I see them, but I do. You can also see in this picture that you share the airspace with other aircraft, like the B-1RDs you see out there flying around. Buzzards don't usually bother the drone, but there are birds that do, like red-tailed hawks, stuff like that. May get aggressive against a drone. Even with the control sensitivity turned down, this thing can be pretty rapid in its response to turn and bank commands, as you see how quickly it's rotating around its axis here. And heading back toward the takeoff point, you can see how close that cow has snuck up. So we're going to settle down and land it here in a second. And there you can see the cow walking away very innocently, like, well, I'm not doing anything. Sure, don't trust cows. And so we set her down. And that's that video. Hey, we thank you so much for stopping by West Texas Droning and visiting with us. The drone videos were taken by FAA Part 107 licensed commercial remote pilot. The background music you heard on West Texas Droning is composed and recorded by the site creator, all rights reserved. And for more of the best of all things West Texas, let us recommend that you visit West Texas Slant. West Texas Slant is a production of Dusty Roach, and it is an entertaining discussion concerning interesting subject of West Texas and interviews with some of the great people you're going to find out here in West Texas. So please give them a look. I'm going to provide you with a link down to West Texas Slant in the description below. And again, thank you so much for visiting with us.